Ahoj, tady je Michalem Bernáthem a tohleto je skutečně podcast Two Man Game, i když momentálně neslyšíte naše klasické intro. Dneska tady totiž budu sám, dneska to bude bez Lukáše Feštra, ale zase tak úplně sám tady nebudu, protože máme našeho prvního hosta a tím je Ivana Dojkić, hráčka WNBA, která hraje za New York Liberty. Já jsem si ji do našeho podcastu pozval, protože za mořem v WNBA se dějí velké věci. Určitě už jste slyšeli jméno Caitlin Clark, možná jste slyšeli jméno Angel Reese. Velké věci se s touhletou ligou teďka dějí a já jsem měl velké štěstí, že přes svoje dobré kamarády jsem se dokázal dostat až k Ivaně Dojkić, která byla tak hodná a z New Yorku se mnou tuhletu epizodu podcastu natočila. Samozřejmě to znamená, že tahle ta epizoda bude v angličtině. Doufám, že to zvládnete všichni. Kdyby ne, klidně mi napište na náš účet, třeba na Twitteru a můžeme udělat nějaký třeba vlákno o tom nejzajímavějším, o čem Ivana Dojkić, hráčka WNBA, mluvila. To je za mě všechno a užijte si tenhle ten speciální díl. Ahoj.
Mamba out.
Hello everybody, and you are listening to Two Man Game podcast, and yes, you are not having an hallucination. This is really in English. This is the first time in English. Here is Michalem Bernáthem from the microphone, and this time there is no Lukáš Feštra with me because we have our first international guest. I am absolutely buzzing about having Ivana Dojkić, a WNBA player, on the podcast. Ivana, how are you doing?
Hi, everyone. Welcome from New York to my little life in WNBA. I'm doing good. Now we have, let's say, a little bit easier rhythm because we have practicing during the Olympic break for us that are not on Olympic Games. So I'm doing great, trying to use this time to a little bit refresh myself and prepare myself good for the second part of the WNBA season.
Yeah, speaking about your WNBA season, New York Liberty, which is your team, is doing awesome. You're the best team in the league right now, 21-4, I believe. That's great. I mean, you're gonna win it all.
This is our goal. I mean, when you come here in New York, you can feel it. It's a process that we are going through every day. I mean, no matter if it's practice or a game, we really work for that one goal, which is waiting for you at the end of the season. But it's a very long season. It's a lot of competitive things, especially this year. I feel like the game is growing. The players are more interested to, come, compete, win. So it's long season, but we have this goal of winning every day. And it's like as I said, process of working towards that. It's not just, like you wait for this like playoff round to come, like semifinals, finals. Nothing is guaranteed, basically. So we approach every game like it's the final. And I think this is the right way to prepare for what is like coming for us on the big moments of the season.
Yeah, right. Could you maybe summarize a little bit? Because most of the listeners, they listen to us because we talk about NBA. Now, the NBA schedule is pretty straightforward. It starts, it ends in June or in May. It's not as straightforward with WNBA because players play in WNBA and in Europe in the same year, basically in the same season. So how does it work?
It's a little bit different. Yeah, as you said, we have like 2 seasons in 1 year. Of course, I mean, you can choose to just play in Europe or you just choose to play in WNBA. But for now, since I feel like physically and mentally I'm ready to go in 2 seasons, I'm doing that schedule, that rhythm. But Europe, we all know that women EuroLeague, it's not obviously as a men EuroLeague, like there is not 82 games all total like with the domestic leagues. It's a little bit like easier tempo. So coming here in New York for me, WNBA was on the purpose, and knowing that in Europe I don't, let's say, use all my energy during the season. I have enough energy, focus, and preparation to be able to, these 4 or 5 months in WNBA, really go more than 100% every day. So when we come here in May, when the season finish in Europe, you just jump into the, like, basically the rhythm of every 2-3 days games. Especially this year is pretty tough since 1 month is a break. So we have like sometimes even back-to-back games. It depends on the, like, how you have scheduled as a team. But we had, I think, 3 back-to-back games. So in this like 2 months of playing, we had really like such a tough schedule that if you're not mentally and physically prepared, it's pretty hard to go like both league, at the same time, like in the same year.
Yeah, and even if you would like to do it for multiple years in a row, right? That's impossible.
I mean, this is my second year doing Europe and WNBA. I see now that you are basically in the machine and you don't have a lot of time for, let's say, recharge, refresh. And every single moment right now that I have a little bit of like a, let's say, break or a day off, you need to use it in the proper way so you can really be ready to always perform like more than 100%, because this league, as I said, every year is getting more and more competitive, and you cannot just go in the game like, oh, this one we're gonna like win easily, because if you do that, probably you're gonna lose. So in order to be always ready, you always need to have this professional life towards what you're doing, towards this basketball sport, and playing, as you said, also like this 2 years in a row, 3 years, for sure also means that at some point you need to take some break, or in Europe or in WNBA. It's very hard to go like for a long time in that way.
Wait,
But
so now there is an Olympic break in your season, right? Now then you're gonna get back to playing WNBA, and so that means in September, October, you just gotta jump back to EuroLeague with Bologna, or
actually, I'm going back to Italy, but I signed in Schio, which is okay. I mean,
right?
Italy, but it's a different team. Let's say I'll finish here as soon as like I can. That means that we are in the finals, and that we, like, hopefully we reach our goal. And then I will take 2 weeks minimum of the break. So it sounds like, okay, 2 weeks in a year, it's not a lot, but I think that for us that are really physically on the high level, 2 weeks means a lot, and it's enough for you just to, let's say, take a little break, but be ready to, feel fresh and good for a new season. So I'll take 2 to 3 weeks break before I start my obligations in Europe, yeah, which is going to be like probably November or middle of November, after
Yeah,
the qualification like window for Eurobasket, in November.
that is an absolutely mental schedule. Will you have even time to visit Rijeka at all? Your born
I
city?
am actually, no, I was born in Rijeka, and everybody kind of misunderstood it because I live in Porec. I don't know how much you're familiar from like cities in Croatia. Like Rijeka, I got born, but I live all my life in Porec. So I will definitely have time, and I hope like at least 1 week of like full recovery and recharge will be like in order to just be on the highest level when I got back in Europe. Yeah, so I'll take my time to visit Croatia for sure.
Can you even imagine that Croatian women team would be at the Olympic Games? You would probably be on that roster.
And
Now, that would, I mean, how do you do it? I mean, how do you just don't drop that? If,
yeah, I have teammates that are doing that. So when you're planning to play both things, like Europe and WNBA, for sure you need to have in your head also like you need to schedule basically everything, like moments of the rest, moments of like, okay, I'm not going to Olympic Games, so I will have this 1 month of practice, but not a games. So that means that when I finish season in WNBA, probably I will be able to just like, after 2-3 weeks, continue my long season in Europe. But I see like some players that are doing both things and also plus Olympic Games. They are asking for more break after WNBA season. So I think it's all about the like preparation and making your own schedule based on how you feel at that point of the career. Like, I don't know, if you're 26, it's probably different than if you're 33, 34. So also depending on injuries, depending on a lot of things, you make your schedule. But I knew that I will not be on the Olympic Games. So that's why I said, okay, this month for sure is going to give me a little bit more space to like have some break. And then I said, okay, after the season, WNBA season, I will be after 2 weeks, ready to jump in another season. But this is also everything pretty much organized with your like coaching staff, with the club that you're going to, you talk to them, you also try to find a deal that it's like good for you, but also good for team that it's waiting for you, also for my personal coach. So there is a lot of like things involved. It's not just, one day decision, but yeah, you need to think of everything. Definitely.
Oh, that sounds incredibly tough. But speaking about Olympics now, two of your star teammates are on the Team USA, of course, Sabrina Ionescu and Brianna Stewart. Are you watching the games?
Yes, I am. I was watching now.
Oh yeah, they're playing Germany, right?
Yes, basically we have two like Sabrina and Brianna. They're in USA national team, and then we have Leonie and Niara, which are playing in German national team. So we have four of them. So basically, I was watching them right now compete against each other, but they both secure quarterfinals. So I think now that quarterfinals are coming, it's going to be really interesting to watch and follow and just support my teammates.
Oh, yeah, I just took a peek at the game when it was third quarter, and it was pretty close. It was like 6 point game, but well, not anymore. It's
I
24,
don't
but 24
okay.
point lead for USA.
I switched off everything and I was like, okay, let me focus on the conversation. But yeah, I mean, I think USA is like, I mean, they're unbelievable team. It's hard to, play
Oh,
against
I know,
them.
trust me.
Even but just having opportunity to be, I mean, representing your country, playing against USA, it's also, I mean, it's a great experience for sure. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
interesting.
actually too bad. It's too bad that my friend and my co-host Lukáš Fešter is not here because he played on under 19 category on the World Cup and they played Team USA and that
We don't
was
know how it, like, usually how it finishes.
yeah. I saw it live. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't. It really wasn't pretty. Anyway, how is life in New York? I mean, that must be a hell of a lifestyle change. Are you watching the Knicks? That's my first question.
I did not have time. I came here when they were finishing their playoffs games. So I was here like in May, middle of May. But live, I mean, now we will see like how it's gonna go, like how far we are gonna go in WNBA season. So maybe I will have some chance like later in October to watch them. For sure, I would be like really happy to have opportunity to watch NBA games. But there is not much of life that I experienced until now because we are basically like playing gym, hotel, gym, like it's
Right.
very, very strict schedule that you don't have so much time to, like just explore like as a tourist. But when there is some days off, which are very, very like rare, but when there is some time off, I try to a little bit, pretend as a just a tourist girl and go in the city, like downtown of like Manhattan, or also here to the Coney Island, which has beach. So I try to a little bit, experience, but it's, as I said, not like very often. But it's, you're part of something big. You feel like it's a world stage here, you feel that no matter if you just do your own schedule, do your like program, or you go to the city, you feel like even on the games, like people are bringing New York inside of the gym, definitely. So this is also something that you can feel even if you don't, go where it's the Manhattan or like Soho or like Central Park. You feel that everywhere, like that you're part of something bigger than just, basketball.
Right. Anything you particularly like about New York so far?
Uh, I like the energy of the city that, you know, it never really slips. But this is probably a famous quote, but not in just terms of like that never stops. It's more that the energy that people are bringing, for example, to our games, is really, it's great. When of course, when there is even like a little bit better games, now we are experiencing like full arenas, which Barclays Center full. You can imagine how beautiful it is to play in that atmosphere. So I like this, energy and lifestyle that you can feel just being, for example, on a basketball game, and you can feel that everywhere too. So I like that a lot.
Yeah, I was actually taking a look at some numbers, and it's about, I believe, about 7,500 is the average
We
attendance.
yeah, we had the games that were obviously like the opening season game, home opening season, or against the Indiana Fever.
Yep.
We had almost 17,000 and very close to being sold out. I don't know, maybe first game was even sold out, I believe. So, and yeah, and it was Indiana Fever too, I think, our first game, if I remember good. So it was, really amazing to feel that the women basketball is growing and that the people are more and more interested to watch the games. But they're not just watching; they're really, they're getting into it too. Like it's different atmosphere than maybe on the men's games and in Europe. It's something special and unique, but it's growing and it's really getting a lot of attention. So yeah, we have a lot of people coming to watch. So the average probably is like a little bit less, but there is a lot of games that we have that are also like you can feel that there is like a gene, that there is crowd, that there is like cheering. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's jump right into this because this is what's really been fascinating me about WNBA for this last couple of months. That there are big things that are currently happening in WNBA. There was a new media contract, new TV contract, which was big. I think it's 2.2 billion dollars, and that's a huge amount. And congratulations to the whole WNBA because you guys deserve it. Um, do you, as a players, talk about this between each other? Like, is it a big deal for you?
Yes, always like from players' perspective, we don't focus maybe too much on the details of what like which kind of the contracts are signed or what exactly is going to be next. But when it happens, we for sure give proper attention to that. And you can feel that how, I mean, I'm just 2 years here in WNBA, but in these 2 years, comparing to last one, this year, you can really feel like that players are part of that and they are willing to contribute in changing the, you know, um, the way of seeing and approaching the women's sport and especially like the women basketball. So as players wants to be part of that, also I think people and crowd also so wants to be part of that now. They see that there is also more TV streams. The commercials are also just giving you opportunity that you meet also and know better us as a players. So definitely it's something that is going on. And I'm really happy to be part of that because I believe that we deserve, I believe that basketball is beautiful sport and women basketball has a lot more to show. So yeah, it's something that we are really following, paying attention, but we try to focus on our game and how to really give people the best of us, the best of basketball.
Yeah, which is exactly why this new big deal was possible because well,
Yeah.
you played a beautiful game. You already mentioned Indiana Fever. Obviously, it's not about Indiana Fever. It's about a certain rookie in your league named Caitlin Clark, and actually just not Caitlin Clark. I mean, Angela Reese is also a rookie. She's also drawing a lot of attention, right? A big crowd. So. What is the hype about right now? Because what we hear here in Europe is that uh, players like Caitlin Clark, they fill the stadiums, people come to see them play, and yet it seems like a lot of players kind of dislike them, or there is this sort of energy that it's not about you, it's about us as a league. So what is the feeling? How is the temperature in WNBA?
It's competitive.
Yeah, nice.
Also at the beginning. No, I think my opinion is that what they did and what they're proving, like what they did on the college level and what they're proving every game right now here in WNBA, shows why people are following, supporting, watching, and filling the arenas. So they're having great results as individuals, but they're also giving their teams opportunity to be better and to feel, they're part of the WNBA on the highest level. So I really believe that they have huge impact on a lot of changes that we had already this year. But there is a lot of other players that are phenomenal, that they deserve same amount of attraction of the media and sponsors, everything else that is coming with that. So I believe that there is a lot of other players. I mean, the whole league, it's 12 teams, 12 players on the teams. And you know how competitive this sounds. I mean, there is everyone who I think deserves some kind of attention. And, I believe that in the next years, this is going to happen, that we all are going to get our spots, that we deserve. But it's very, very big, huge impact that they did coming from college this year, for sure. It's like a lot of effort, that they're doing.
Right. It also feels to me that when I was watching some of their highlights of Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese, I mean, I kind of I don't recognize the women basketball anymore. I mean, it's not what it was when I was younger. I think it became more dynamic. It became, as you said, a lot more competitive, maybe more physical, more skilled, as are the whole sport. So, I mean, you're 26 now, so you can maybe see the progress in real time. So, would you say this is the true?
Sorry, the last part that you said.
Just if you believe that it's true, that I'm not having a hallucination.
No, definitely. Me personally, I feel like, okay, just comparing Europe and playing in WNBA has also a huge difference. But through the years, I feel like the game here is really every year getting more physical, more dynamic, as you said, and it's just getting faster. Also, this is for sure a reason why people are getting more interested to watch and see, because some games are, I'm not going to say on the level of the men's game, because we don't certainly do some things, obviously, that men's body can, but we have very good quality of the basketball, and the dynamic that it's improving, and the physicality is giving more spark on the actual game that we represent and we do. So I believe I agree with you, and I believe that it's getting every year a little like step up on the physicality, competition, aggressiveness too. Just individual skills are also more able to be expressed in the right way. I think it's getting better and better.
Right. I think it's a similar way as the men's EuroLeague, or kind of getting closer to the way that game is played in the NBA over the years. But now you have this amazing opportunity to compare European basketball and American basketball, because you skip between those two leagues, those two basketball worlds that are obviously pretty different. So where would you say that are the main differences, or are there any major differences, really?
They are, because here the style of the game is giving you more focus on the individual skills. So here the game is focused on one-on-one, and then on the team collective game. So in Europe, I think the way we grow, the way that we are taught, and the way we are like focused is more as a team game, collective game, and it's totally different. I had a huge, let's say, this step to make in the process of just the way that I saw the game in Europe and the way that I think of the game, like in my natural way. And then because it's like so long that you do it, like from the first like connection with the basketball, you are teach to see the basketball in one way, and then here it's totally like a different sport, because here it's more focused on what you can do one-on-one and what you are able to bring the team by being one-on-one player too. If it's offensively, defensively, it's everything more focused on that. So I think this is the major difference. And then in the women basketball, I would also like to say that here, comparing to the Europe, is, as I said in the previous answer, it's the dynamic is very much different. It's like faster, more aggressive, more physical. Just the game is going like on a different level than in Europe. Obviously, we have also good games in EuroLeague, in women EuroLeague. But if we talk overall, it's a little bit, step up from like the dynamic and the energy level and the physicality.
Right. Did you enjoy this kind of change? Do you like to be more physical maybe around the basket?
It's definitely a new opportunity and challenge for me. I love it because I think it's giving me another way of experiencing myself in this sport. So I like when something is challenging and it gives me a space for improvement, big one. So it's pretty interesting because the game is more open, and you have feeling that there is more space for you to also do the things, to attack, to take a shot no matter what. Like you took a shot, okay, it's not a big deal if you miss. Sometimes in Europe you're like, no, you need to take the best shot in the best moment of the game, in order to like be team oriented. But here, if you make a decision, no matter what decision at the end is going to be, it's like it's important that you are making decisions. So this is also like giving me space to improve my being more intention and having more intention and being more aggressive towards the basket.
Yeah, okay, one big thing I want you to ask: coaching. Now, I absolutely love European style of coaching. I mean, I can't imagine coaches like Željko Obradović in WNBA. That would probably be pretty mental to see. But is the difference really that big? Is anyone screaming at you, shouting at you in WNBA? No.
No, there is some level of, serious part of the practice where they are getting their tone a little bit like higher, more like serious, but there is not something that I experienced when I was young and growing up on Balkan in Croatia.
Yeah.
In Croatia, or like having experience to have like some Serbian coach or Slovenian or from Bosnia, like I think that this is not something that you can experience anywhere else than in our territory.
Yeah, I guess it's really not that motivating for you, right? If they're just slightly raise their voice, I mean, that's like...
I think that now at this level, you kind of know to push yourself alone. So you don't have to have a coach, staying over you and saying like, oh, you need to do that or you need to do better. I think you have your own coach in your mind. So basically you do that job for yourself, how hard you push yourself every day. But I also appreciate that I had in my early career, when I was like basically just starting with the basketball as a kid, I had this high level of, ambient of, just like you push, you do harder, you work harder, you don't have like great conditions around you, but you're always just in like taught to be in your way of achieving your goals. So that's why I think that my base was pretty like strong. focused on what I want to achieve and do, that today I feel like it's a normal for me, and I have this in my skin, under my skin, and in my habits.
Right. Do you feel that there is a big difference in the power level between WNBA and EuroLeague?
You mean the EuroLeague?
Yeah, the women's EuroLeague, and I mean like
There's
the European competitions. Yeah.
You said if there is a which level? I didn't understand that. Sorry.
The power level, if
the
like
power.
if you if you would say that the teams in WNBA are really so much better than the European ones.
Okay, the power. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I would say that besides 2-3 really best teams in Europe, the power level is really, here every team is almost same, considering that. So then there is individual qualities or skills that it's making the difference, but the power level is really here. I think the best and the highest level of the women basketball. Yeah.
Yeah, but well, on the other hand, if there was only 12 teams in Europe, as it is in WNBA, maybe it would be comparable.
Definitely. Also that I feel like in Europe, also the competitions of EuroLeague women, then Eurocup women, then domestic leagues. I feel like if they do, as you said, more sharp, more smaller amount of the teams in the competition, that we focus our talent and skills in just certain clubs and places, I think we would have much better level, definitely, and much more competitive, because overall the situation would be different if we have just 10, 12, 15 teams, because we know how much teams we have in Europe. In Eurocup, I think there is 40, 50 in the group stage, or overall qualification rounds. There is a lot of teams, and then you have the EuroLeague, and then you lose this, the focus of the players in just few places.
Right. So talking about Europe, you've been to Europe, obviously. You've been to Czech Republic. I know you didn't get to play the finals. I think you were hurt. Is that right?
The finals of the.
Did you play the finals with the USK?
Yes.
With USK Prague.
I mean, I played the finals of the Czech League. I just didn't have much opportunity because this year was particular because it was COVID. So I feel like there was a little bit different schedule of the games than how in the regular seasons are. We had just these 2 EuroLeague bubbles, which then didn't have opportunity for me a lot to have some minutes and make my impact, but the other players and also the foreigners had to play much more in the domestic league, so I didn't have a lot of chances to prove myself in the Czech league and then in the EuroLeague in that year. But I mean, to be part of Prague, it's really something that for sure changed my career and put me on the on the way for bigger things and better things.
Oh, good. Anything specific you remember from your stay in Prague?
Besides that, I said it was pretty hard year for everyone, I believe, because of the COVID. I'm sorry that it's gonna always stay, this first on my mind. There was pretty much living in a closed apartment with a lot of testing and a lot of also quarantines that you were not able to move and not even practice. So it was very tough season for me, but just pushing through this very challenging opportunity for me to be in the Prague and focus on growing, practicing with amazing coaching staff. And sometimes you don't have time to practice, but this year we really had, and I think that we did a great job. And I think that this year, as I said, gave me, the push for another great things, big things. So Prague is amazing. I mean, I would like to have another chance to experience in another way, not in that moment, but it was like this. And, I try to take the best out of it no matter what.
Oh yeah, please definitely take take Prague, give it a mercy and give it another shot, because it's a beautiful city, really.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Even in these moments that, let's say, it was a little bit less dynamic, I try to experience it, and I really loved being there. I really do, and I think it's like, center of Europe, and it's one of the most beautiful cities that I saw. So I would definitely, give another chance every time. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get back a little bit. Now you went undrafted, right? That's you signed with the Seattle Storm. Um, Now, what was your kind of mindset when and when that opportunity came? Like, was it your agent that said, "Hey, you actually can get the chance to play in Seattle," or how long did it how long did it take you to make the decision? Was it a hard decision?
For me, to just say that at the beginning, for me, always the Europe was the main focus and goal to, secure what I want in Europe. And then going to WNBA is something as more, a gift that, of course, like I always took in the most serious way. But I always said to that, like, okay, if it happens, I'll take it and I'll do the best that I can. But it's not something that I wanted to like put before Europe, especially in the younger age, like pretty early years of my career. So when it happened last year, I think that kind of happened in a good moment, because even though I had chances to go before that, I feel like you need to have some experience and some age to make some impact in WNBA if you want, obviously, to come and make some impact. So last year, I felt, talking with my agent that brought me that offer, and in talking with the Seattle, with the coach, with the GM, I felt like they really have a vision for me. And that's one of the most important things for me, that, what I want, it's also something that the team has in their vision, and that they want that too for me. So, that we meet at some point of like, okay, if I'm coming, what is going to look alike and what is going to be, not just to come and, just live day by day. So their vision was something that I really felt as a first year is a great move. And I didn't think a lot. It happened very naturally. And as soon as they called me, told me what they had for me, I said, yeah, I want to do it. And for the first step, I would never, do any other team than Seattle that year.
Yeah, right. Did you manage to keep up with the WNBA before you went over the Atlantic to play? I mean, did you watch any of the game? Because
Yeah,
what I hear that not many women players in Europe actually watch WNBA. I mean, it's
no,
not
you
like
watch more, you watch
yeah.
more NBA than the. I think the one reason because of that is that the national just stream, like TV streamings, are not like, they are not showing the WNBA. First of all, I mean, they were not. I don't know if now improved a little bit situation in some
No.
countries, but you don't have like the platform where you can actually watch. So everything that you can do individually, you do, but it's also like not always the easiest way. And I did not follow like so much. I mean, I knew what was happening, at which point it was, and also talking a lot with my teammates, that I had a lot of teammates in the WNBA, like for them overseas in Europe. It's more like through this daily communication with them, through like talking, understanding how it is, but just by watching, no, definitely. Until I came here last year, I didn't have so much attention to that.
Were you starstruck by any player? Like somebody that you maybe idolized when you were growing up?
I would say Diana Taurasi. I
Oh yeah,
think
that's a legend. Yeah.
she's really a legend, and especially since I had 18 when I had first chance to play against her in Russia. And for me was, I mean, I played against other big stars too, but I don't know. For me, she was the one that I always followed more than any other player. And just having a chance to meet her when I was 18 and play against her, talk to her a little bit, was for me, like, oh wow, you don't have a lot of opportunity as like at such a young age to, have that moment. So I would say her, and she stayed a legend. She will stay forever a legend. I mean, the things that she's doing is like a historical, you know, things.
she's still playing. She's playing for the Team USA right now at the Olympics. So we're going to see if that's going to be another gold medal. Probably yes. But I guess all this respect that you had for all the stars and legends that you grew up watching, it had to go away, right? Straight away as you entered the league. You're not giving anything easy to Diana Taurasi now.
I never did. I mean, I always, even if I had like moments like this to play against, you know, the stars, high level players, if in order I wanted to survive in that league so young, I never had to give so much attention to who you play against. So also coming here for me, okay, it's new thing because it's a new league for me, but it's not a new moment to play against the best in the world. So I kind of use this previous experience at a young age to, you know, have benefits of that now. And, you know, playing, I focus on myself. Obviously, you have some kind of the respect, but not too much in the game because you need to take care of you and your game. But off the court, definitely when you see them, when you meet them, it's really high level of respect and you know, just gratitude that you can be in this ambient of such a players.
Yeah, I was excited when you mentioned NBA. I mean, you probably, as you said, you probably watched more NBA games than WNBA games back in Europe. So, who's your idol in NBA?
I was in a lot. I mean, my idol was Kobe Bryant always. As my brother
Yes.
was LeBron James, I was Kobe Bryant, and we would always fight as a
Ooh.
kids. So that was pretty intense environment, like to live, you know, during the playoff series,
Yeah.
during the summer in my whole like family. So I think I would just stick to him no matter, you know, the situation right now. He was, you know, for me, I grew up watching him, and I would always remember that, and I would always go back to that moments and, you know, repeat them like by watching them again and again and again. So he was my big idol. And to not forget Dražen Petrovic, which is, you know, a big thing also of me falling in love with this sport and just following such a, you know, human being person on our like on our territory from my country, you know, doing the things that he was doing as one of the, like, let's say, pioneers of going to the USA was also a big role and a big impact on my, you know, falling in love with basketball and understanding that sport better.
Yeah. Do you have any specific memory of Dražen when you were maybe watching him or?
Uh, it was based on very like more emotional because at that time when I was growing up already, I mean, we know in which way it went, and it was always watching his path and believing that you can also do that, you know. Even today sometimes I go back to, you know, his interviews and his mentality to listen, to learn, because you can learn a lot from, you know, his mentality and the way of what he did for in order to be successful as he was. So I would just say, like, overall this emotion for him, and the way I was growing up watching him more as a memory was always stayed on me, like pretty much intense emotion. So I really think that this is also something that made a huge, you know, impact in our, I mean, not just in my like start of the, you know, basketball life, but also many other, you know, players, no matter women or men's, on in Croatia, definitely.
Yeah. Do you have any current NBA player that you would maybe say that is maybe has a similar play style to yours? Like who do you like watching?
I didn't think about that.
Mm,
I like to follow like more basketball game. You know, I don't focus just on one player and I try
sure.
to, you know, repeat or try to practice the things that he's doing. I'm more watching the sport, and I try to learn and get the best out of the quality and the skills that, you know, I see myself maybe more type of the basketball what I try to reach. But I love to, as I like to watch NBA, I'm a big fan of men EuroLeague, and I think that there is a lot to learn. For example, the way this Lucas plays is just, you know, unbelievable. And I think, let's say, more connecting to that type of just how tough he is and how, you know, dominant he is in what he's doing when he like wants in every moment. It's really impressive for me. So as I'm watching the basketball, I try to get the best out of like the game, not just like a certain player. So yeah, it's more about the game than a player for me.
Yeah, okay, let's stop with this. So, what do you watch for when you are watching an NBA or WNBA game? Like, what are the things that you're trying to pick up? And also, are you watching it with the commentary, or I mean, a lot of players watch it on mute with no sound to just watch the pure game. So, what is your process?
My process is that at this level, at this highest level of basketball, everyone knows how to play. So you're going to see a lot of great movements, a lot of great things from like all the players on the court at that moment, probably. But for me, what is making the difference that I'm really trying to, in the last period, put more focus to is the behavior and just the mental level of that player. You know, when you see that player basically has this control of himself and not giving too much emotions to the game, and it's always in a balance, is something that I really like and enjoy to watch.
Oh, you
And
must have loved Tim Duncan.
yes, I mean, I think this is the making this last step of, you know, separating the good players from great players. You know, the way you control yourself, the way you are acting in the important moments of the game, you know, the decision you're making in a tough moments of the game. So I really like to watch that. That's why I said I pay attention to the game more than the, you know, specific players or the name of the players. I really like to see who is acting in which way and behaving in important moments of the game. Also, like in the easy games, you know, I think this is also showing your professionality and your you know, this GOAT mentality that no matter which game it is, you're always, you know, sharp with the big decisions, you know, doing your job that day. So this is what I really like to get my focus and attention to.
Yeah, well, obviously you liked Kobe Bryant because what you described is a pure Mamba mentality, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously he left for us a lot of, you know, these moments of what you know, the speaking of what he is going throughout the game, throughout the day, throughout the, you know, just his style of life. So obviously that I love to, you know, listen to him. But I think that we have a lot of also other players that are showing the same level of just being person, but on the court also giving your best, like as the outside giving your best, also giving on the court your maximum every day.
Yeah, what I also always loved about Kobe and listening to him, especially after he left the NBA and he retired, was to see how smart of a person he really was. Like he was incredibly smart, and you could tell if you listen to him, he was very articulate with how he was speaking. You know, some of the way sometimes the way he reacted was super intelligent as a human being. I mean that's something that's amazing. I also try to pay attention to players off the court, you know, to
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
how they behave themselves, and this is why I even though I grew up also being a big fan of Kobe and I hated LeBron, hated him, but like one thing that I really have to give to him, since he was 18 or 19, he tried to be a role model and he was a complete professional along the way, and he still is, which is on this level. with all the, all the bright lights, all the money that they have, he still seems that he's conducting himself very professionally, and this is something that I can really appreciate.
Yeah, definitely. For me, the goal is to follow these people that you really see they're gentlemen. Okay, they did great things in basketball, but outside of the basketball, there is such a huge world that they can also represent. It's not just, one way player, like one way person, like, okay, basketball and that's it. Like when they are off the court, I believe that they can give even more of, what they're giving on the court sometimes. And we maybe don't think in that way for many of them, but when they speak, how they act, how they live, it's really proof of, a people that are, I think spiritually and, mentally on such a level that it's impressive that how they, establish that during their career of playing basketball too. So yeah, I really agree with you.
Yeah, let's get back for a little moment to what's happening on the court in the WNBA right now. What are the trends? I mean, I can imagine the spacing is becoming even crazier and crazier with players like Caitlin Clark basically pulling up from Steph Curry range almost. I think it must be impacting the game a lot. So, what are the current trends in the game that makes the most difference?
The trends are to give much more attractive things also as we have in the men's basketball. I believe, as you said, like long range threes, movements or moves that, are not so particular for women basketball. Something that can give a little bit more to, just the dynamic of the game. But for sure, the trends are long range threes and physical finishes. I would say the good N1 finishes, like these attractive things that we like to see, love to see.
Yeah, so are you getting emotional with when you score an and one? Like, do you scream and one, baby?
No,
Yeah.
personally, me, not that much.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're part of that, so you bring that energy. So I like to, contribute or on the court or off the court, to that moves, yeah, to that moment.
Yeah, well, I went through some of your stats. I mean, you are no stranger to chucking up threes. I mean, you shoot maybe six threes during some games, right? So, how big of a part of your game this is? I mean, obviously you're a guard. This is sort of your job description.
Here, it's a little bit harder to always get till the end of the basket, so you need to use more your your pull-up jump shots or just 3 points. So definitely by coming here, I try to be three-way player, and in Europe maybe I was more focusing on just finishing with the layups and not using that much my 3-point shot. But here I improved that a lot, and I also take that shot as part of my as a big part of my game. And here you need to be that player if you want to succeed. Like you need to have all in your pocket to use, not just like one way. So I like to, just take the best shot at that moment. If I see that the layup is something that it's open and, good to take in that moment, I'll do it. But if I also see that the shot is the better solution, I try to, have a good decision and balanced decision.
Yeah, and probably the pull up from dribble was much more prevalent in the USA than in Europe, right? I mean, in
Yes,
Europe you
I still,
probably have more
yeah.
like assisted threes and
Yeah, I still think that I can use a little bit more my shot and my pull-up shots, but here, yeah, it's more about like pull-up and you're creating, because it's not always easy to create your 3-point shot by yourself. But as you said, in Europe, it's more like assist and then like a 3-point shot made like for you from another player. But here, you need to be able to create your own shot, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. I think we almost get to the end, but one last question that has nothing to do with basketball, actually. But I was really interested. How is it to have a birthday on 24th of December?
This
I mean,
is
that must
not
be terrifying.
expected. It's, I mean, it's great and sad at the same time. I mean, when I
Right.
was a kid, I would always be so sad because nobody would be able to come to my birthday. So I would always need to
Yeah, true.
postpone it like in January. And my brother is 21st December. So that's crazy because we both have in this like close day to Christmas. We always had like these birthday parties which were postponed in January. So this was like when I was like kid, I was like sad about that. But now when I'm getting older, I'm really happy about it because I know that I'll be home probably for a Christmas and for
Yeah.
my birthday.
Yeah. And a full
So
house from your family, everybody's going to
yes,
be there.
which
That's
you
great.
at the end appreciate the most by the like some like older age, and like as you're getting older and older you appreciate more just having family all together and people you love, and that's what is Christmas about. So now it's great because I'm sure that at this moment I'll be home, even if just for 2 days 3 days. I know that I'll get home for Christmas and just have birthday and Christmas all together, like my also brother birthday. So it's great now.
Yeah, it would be it now it would be actually terrible if you had birthday in August. You would never be
Yes,
home.
I would be here by myself. I would probably like need to celebrate, in a totally different way. But I don't know. I can't even imagine. I'm really happy that it's 24 December. Also, it's a lot of like symbolic, these days of Christmas around. It's like Christmas Eve, which is really a beautiful atmosphere. And sometimes it was difficult for me because when you're in your like younger age, you lose like a whole year. Like sometimes they even approached to me and asking me if I want to change as a kid, that I'm 98, but I said no, I would keep because I love it's great, date for having a birthday. But maybe sometimes it was, like a bad thing because when you're born at the end of the year, you need to compete on the level of someone who is maybe at that moment even a year older. When you're young, that can have a lot of, difference in the basketball like way. So this was maybe something that I was like having as a challenge, but I never wanted to even think about changing that date or putting on 1998. Yeah, that doesn't make sense for me.
Okay, this is actually very interesting, and I did not expect that we're gonna talk about this, but you
So
know,
now you have another question.
because me and my wife, we are expecting a girl, and she should be
Oh,
born on somewhere middle of December.
oh,
So yeah,
okay.
obviously I would love for her to pick up the basketball and also play the game. So would you think that? I mean, obviously, it was a bit harder because when you are 11 and you're competing against other girls that are basically 12, the one
Yeah,
year gap is a big deal when you're this old.
yeah, yeah.
So, do you think that? I mean, yes, it was tough, but at the same time, it maybe made you a bit more resilient.
I use that as a benefit because then how I was growing,
I'm so glad
when
to
I
hear
would,
this.
yeah, when I would come on my like, okay, when you come on some level that okay there is, your age, then you use that as a like a strength, of course. So I never try to look on the things like in a weak way. I always try to get something out of it. For example, I think it's a little bit different in a men's basketball because one boy that it's 1 year older can I think even have more difference. So my brother, he was also a basketball player, and I think he suffered a little bit more that because he had to compete against sometimes men because like he was on this like 16 17. When you're 18 19, you're already like a serious, boy. So in these years, he was the one that suffered a little bit more than me, this gap. But I definitely use that in a positive way because one day you cross this under 14, under 16, under 18. European championships, and then you come to the level where you're playing against someone who is 32, 33. So if you want to go that far, you need to know that this is just like something that it's, you know, not even such a big deal if you want to, with 18, step in the senior level and play against a real professionals. So I thought in that way, you know, anyway, one day I need to face myself with, you know, serious professional players, which are much, much older than me. So yeah, I use that in a good way.
Oh, I'm
You don't have
so
to
glad.
worry.
Yeah, I'm really happy that you cleared this for me. Okay, one last thing. I would like you to tell me, or not even me, but our listeners, because there might be, I mean, I don't think there are, but there might be young girls playing basketball listening to this podcast, and I'm sure it must be amazing for them, as it is for me, to speak to someone who made it all the way to the WNBA. It might seem like a huge goal when you're growing up in Europe, in Central Europe, in Czech Republic, in Croatia. You're trying to just do your best on the court somewhere, maybe in a small town, and you still have this goal of becoming a WNBA player. What do you think is the most important thing to make that happen? What would be your big advice to little girls, to little players?
My advice would be that there's a couple of things that I would like to say. First of all, it's passion, that if you have that, then everything else that can come as obstacle, you're gonna go through that no matter, you know, the situation. So having a passion is to take care of that and to really grow your passion with, you know, with your getting older. Sometimes you can get distracted, especially in today's world. You can really get distracted by a lot of things in life. So to keep that focus on having that passion for basketball, then for sure it's gonna come moments when when you're gonna doubt yourself, when you're gonna think, oh, can I make it? Am I able to make it? Am I able to do that? But the focus is not on, you know, what if you don't succeed. The focus is on, you know, doing the best that you can, and then see how far you can go. So basically, not believing in, you know, what if I fail, but just being focused on positive things that you can grow from every experience, every challenge. Because for me, when I was thinking, oh, there is something bigger coming, there is something that, you know, it's giving me even more opportunity to show myself, and then you always kind of ask yourself, what if, you know, it doesn't go in the way that you want? But in that moment, I never can fail. You can just really learn, and then you can use it in another experience as something, you know, that you went through. So to make it shorter for younger girls, having that passion and believing in it, no matter if there's going to be like bad moments or good moments, you always keep your like level of the focus same, and being professional towards it is going to make you definitely easier to, you know, to leave that. Because if you don't leave that every day, and if you're not professional towards that, it's making you harder definitely with the years.
Right. And with this absolutely perfect ending, I would like to thank you, Ivana, that you take off your free time, and you maybe skip a practice for this. I don't know.
No, today is my day off.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
really.
Well. Thank you so much that you prefer to come on our podcast instead of visiting Empire State Building or any other landmark
Yeah.
in New York. So it's hvala ti, dovidenia. If we should, yeah. I mean, a lot of Czech, obviously, are probably every Czech citizen, I would say, over 20 was at Croatia at some point.
Yes, at some point of the life.
Exactly. Yeah. So we always heard, dobrodošli.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
love
So
Texas. So yeah, I am really no, I'm really thrilled and happy to be part of your podcast. I'm really thankful for giving me opportunity to, you know, speak to a little bit, let's say, different ambient and listeners. So I'm really, really happy, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to show myself in in your podcast.
Great. Okay, best of luck. I hope that the New York Liberty are the next WNBA champions, and good luck with the rest of the season, and hopefully maybe see you in the future.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to it too. Thank you a lot.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.